This is ridiculous. My lawn is fine.
Sir, the rules are very clear.
I'll fight this. These violations are serious. The data confirms it. I need to call legal.
The fine itself was almost insulting, $75. Improper exterior decor, non-approved seasonal lighting. It was a small string of warm white lights along our porch railing. Nothing flashing, nothing loud, just subtle. We removed it the same evening, paid the fine, moved on, or at least we tried to. 3 days later, another letter arrived. Repeat violation, decorative compliance issue. Repeat, the lights were gone. I walked outside and took photos. Bare porch, clean railing, nothing there. Still, the fine stood. When I emailed the HOA president, Karen, she responded within minutes. Our inspection records confirm the violation. Inspection records. That phrase stuck because no one had knocked, no warning, just a charge. Then I started noticing something else. Several neighbors still had similar lights up, some brighter, some blinking, no citations. I asked one of them quietly if they had received anything. They hadn't. That's when the discomfort shifted. This wasn't about decorations. It felt selective. At the next HOA meeting, I calmly asked how inspections were documented. Karen smiled tightly. Our enforcement process is consistent and standardized. But she didn't explain how or who performed inspections, or how often. 2 days later, another fine. Failure to maintain compliance. The total now, $225, for lights that no longer existed. That's when I stopped seeing it as petty and started seeing it as a pattern, because when enforcement feels random, it usually isn't. I decided to stop reacting and start documenting. Every letter scanned, every email archived, every date logged. Then something strange appeared on the violation notices. Each fine referenced inspection code 7B. So I requested the inspection logs. Karen responded with a PDF. Sparse, minimal, no timestamps, no inspector signatures, just property addresses and violations. All entered on the same day, same font, same formatting, including homes I knew had visible issues that week, issues that never received fines. So I started comparing. I walked the neighborhood, took photos, carefully, quietly. 17 homes had similar porch lights during the same period. Only 3 were fined. All 3 households had questioned HOA spending in the past year. Now it didn't feel selective. It felt targeted. Then I noticed something bigger. The HOA's quarterly financial report showed something unusual. Fines accounted for nearly 28% of operating income. 28%. That's not incidental, that's dependency. I ran the numbers from past quarters. Fines had steadily increased. Maintenance costs hadn't. Landscaping contracts were stable. Security expenses unchanged. But violation revenue, climbing. And when I compared violation frequency with meeting attendance records, the spike aligned directly with residents who had raised questions. The fine wasn't the issue anymore. The system was. Because when an organization depends financially on penalties, compliance stops being the goal. Revenue becomes it. And that's when I realized my $75 fine wasn't random. It was part of something much larger. I spoke to 2 neighbors privately, then 4, then 7. The pattern widened. One family fined repeatedly after requesting landscaping contract transparency. Another cited weekly after questioning board elections. Every household heavily fined had spoken up, and the fine amounts weren't random. They escalated, first small, then incremental, then overwhelming, until residents either stopped asking questions or moved. 2 families had quietly sold within the year. Both left after lien threats. That's when I contacted an attorney, not to sue, to understand. He reviewed everything, then leaned back and said something that shifted everything. If fines are used selectively and make up a significant revenue stream, that can constitute abuse of authority. Abuse. Not strict enforcement. Abuse. We formally requested detailed inspection timestamps, inspector credentials, voting records approving fine escalation policies, financial allocation breakdown of fine revenue. Karen's response was immediate, defensive. She claimed harassment, then added a legal processing fee to my account. That was the moment, not anger. Clarity. Because honest systems don't fear transparency, they welcome it. And if she was confident everything was proper, why escalate instead of clarify? Word spread, more residents requested records, an emergency meeting was called, attendance doubled, then tripled. And for the first time, Karen didn't look in control. The independent audit confirmed it. Violation notices were issued disproportionately to households that had raised governance questions. Inspection logs lacked verifiable timestamps. Fine escalation policies were implemented without proper member vote. And the most devastating line in the report: operational budgeting demonstrates measurable reliance on enforcement-derived revenue. Reliance. The HOA wasn't enforcing standards, it was sustaining income. My $75 fine? It was part of a financial strategy, a pressure mechanism, a warning to dissenters. All fines issued under the escalation structure were voided, late fees reversed, lien threats withdrawn, but the deeper exposure wasn't about refunds. It was structural. Residents realized something uncomfortable. The system had quietly incentivized punishment, and once punishment becomes profitable, it rarely stays fair. At the final meeting, the vote to remove Karen passed decisively. Not emotional. Decisive. As she walked out, no one cheered, because this wasn't about one personality. It was about a structure nobody had examined closely, until a $75 fine forced us to. If you've ever questioned an HOA fine that felt less like enforcement and more like leverage, share your experience in the comments. Like, subscribe, and share, because silence protects broken systems. Transparency dismantles them.